Uh, Happy Easter to everyone. And we kajung. So Okwan beyond. Likwe Linevin. Ne sen lu Linevin ne lan lu kachi ke sen sanglen. Tong te ge Easter. Bele ka sen li se fan Linevin. Okwan beyond. Sungnen swimne. Kini chi lo gyam ten esen kui. Lo gyam ten esen nam yang elu. Di nesen kete kena kin no ken ka esen endu so mbi. Ne wo wati mbi tendo charity Yenla we obluji be man chok free swige loy ja lui bang ne no blewe chia ne ilu kavi ne kilu lo se kire no blewe no lu man lu kem no blewe no ki ko kem no wetene ne khajim no ke esen chinten kene am yang elu ka swige esen lo yote esen ne nyakte ne a comment section ka tong ten lo ki esen ne giabling wetene o lo lu ne ki kene se gite seten o kene ke wa yo ne sui wa ba lo tu yo ko nyak fo a ti se a si se chak te ku. Welcome and happy Easter to everyone joining Oko and Beyond this evening or wherever you are at the hour. We are coming with our program, a weekly program of Oko and Beyond. We'll be looking today at how we can build peace related to women. And the topic today is let's talk the role of women in community peace building. And we have Charity Yenla. She'll be talking to us the various dimensions that we're going to follow. And you have questions or views, you can share them on our comment section and you can share the live show so others can follow. We promise to bring to you this and lots as days come, as days unfold, so we can enlighten the population in order to know the strategies in peace building. So we welcome Charity and say Happy Easter.
Thank you. Thank you, Emma. Happy Easter to you and happy Easter, viewers of Oku and beyond, in Oku, in Cameroon, and abroad. I want to wish you all a happy Easter Sunday. I'm here in Bamenda, and it was a great celebration here in Bamenda from church to our homes, and now we are on the media. Ma chak tập của na có dung chak tới là của ca cancer làm được chín giờ ba chak tới na rất là của gym ca của chín được cuộc tuần nó cuộc na bli cấp gym wa nó cuộc tuần suy cái là yom lu charity yen lan mo chak tới na mi suy cái sang là ista sa wo lập gym thì nó phải sang nó có lan nó có chi ca cái gì nó ca vì nó lo si của vì nó lo si của ai wai wai san tan ma chak tới na wo lập gym wa Luna Oku and Beyond Lane was a team yes and Swiga yes and on the program yeah is on the Ketana last week on peace building. Last week yes and the sung kum og da na peace building no line yes and dive in do kumokina peace building the killer why wa mokong program ni is a killer why wa yes and lusa jeka education on peace building is very important for all of us. So today we'll be talking about the role of women in community peace building, which I am an advocate. So chairman, that's the
Bele,
topic for today.
Bele, thank you for that intro into the topic role of women in community peace building. And today, what stands out, we're looking at the various sections of this topic. We're looking at the community. When you're talking about community, what's a community?
A community is a group of people who live together, who have something in common, who share something in common, who accepts, tolerates, and have a common leader, a common religion, a common tradition or culture, and you can name the rest.
And you're emphasizing on peace, the community and peace, building, and all these three phrases, they come to summarize on women, the role of women in community building in peace. And if we are coming to this, you cannot just get up one morning and start saying that peace, peace, peace. There must have been something happening. So where are you coming from with this topic?
Okay. When you hear the word peace, it's obvious that something should have happened. You don't just get up in the morning and you start talking about peace building. If people live in peace and harmony, you'll not talk about peace building. Last week, we were trying to define peace and we were looking at it to be harmony, unity, and tranquility, people living together. Now, before we talk about peace, it's obvious that there is a conflict, there is a disagreement. So where this is coming from is because right now in Cameroon we are facing different forms of uh, conflict. We have different kinds of conflict that we are involved in. I'll not be naming them, but I think we have the crisis in the Anglophone regions where I am. We have the Boko Haram over there. We have gender crisis and all of that. So we have different societal conflicts that we are facing. There are conflicts in our families, in the church, everywhere. Every day on social media, you see like a different kind of conflict rising. So it is very necessary for us to talk about peace because we are already facing conflict.
Okay, thank you. Maka we ramu ko se beef ge we lol ken lege we ka we she yun matim ken gele memge aya sung nung kumam yang aya sung nung kumam yang ne wa kwa ta ge se ke lu ken ge wa bus ken bus lege ja tim u la ka banda ge aya sung nung kumam yang abia bi su ge abai wa ko yo ge se lu ge aya sung nung kumam yang wa su ge
Yanga ka jayam nyang lu na isa fai ken abli wam na ba sa lo ta jelen lu atiti. Ela sa diom lo be ma ken sa game mo. Fai ken na va ko mo li na va ko mo. Wa ja na yo ka su nyang ya lu. Ko lo yo lo sung nan ko mo nyang wa ka gan get su lu na get su lu dun dun. Get su lu sa sa fai na li shanda. Get su lu sa sa lo na bli wa ga la kok sa na tan. Get su lu sa sa ku ka li la ka ya san kai san chin ka ka tum na kama ga try so define a village, a community, for example. Community lu ga chin together, ga chin tan, ga be mani be mi mo. Ki nde la ki mo, o ki nde be mi mo. Chi so chu mo, name na so yoto isaki mo. So ga la lu di jaya be man of chu mo ga. O me yen na shi lu se ya su yung nyang. A fo ga la kela se ya chi na we na we. Kela se ya be ma we na we. Besa kela se ya fe se ko wo ko mo chim lu ka am dun dun lu. Baga yesan lo li lewa yesan lo ki diversity yesan ma ya yen ka lu threat be na diversity lu strength. So when I look at it for she's about it for sake the there can be unity in diversity. For a be mo kana kama sui no lu blue mo no lu vi. First of all, fi no bom ya some Jackson. Just the fact that mo sung nam fe lu vi no lu blue mo. For ya lu na shi aji ya for nyanga chima ya lu so mo baga mo lo sui kana fe lu ke pia. Oh yo ka blue mo na ka jan lu titi. Bella.
Bele, ne sine chakte ge chintin ne sine se yote na kin wikiji ebolo wa na lo jalo man ne babe konsum kiji tambe si kwen bamenda ne yele en lo lo kite beef en makte te beef tetene e chiase no an charity o fortifice tetene sine boiten selune e yene ka wo kokte ngui musa kokte ngui ne fiava dinage so as a cocktail li kan fan wat zur microphone wie wat ja zur microphone wie a platform ja kele so wat zur microphone wie ne mali bele wala li esme chinten ne wule lu ne kan se chinten se esen ne kan kin yo kan ke nan charity gwin so se esen lan ne ese sun la mu ko sun ke ne ji ga gwine eten dino ko lo ben sem no blewe lambala ka gi lo ta kele se suige ki ki ga ne se ne kum se bom amne kum nyang ikfe ne sa ka tume ne agui lan suige ike ne blewe wo lo ki liten jamten kum nyang esen di esen ka bi so winge ogui na kan ki ge ki giamten kum nyang sakana ne kwat ge nle lu we kwat ge ki lu se ke wo lo ko giamten.
Bella chairman. The first maka is no so kela luga ka population bi lu no kielu more than half. Ala su bi na raya on duro yo ka su ga pie dio chia lumen. O yenga kielu no kie dio chia lumen na ka population bi lu. Wala bi ga wa ki ga sa kwena bi wa ngek saloon kwena bi wa crisis saloon. Ya killer in the thing yang luki ka kete ya sa killer. Ega in the midst of conflict ana kete kur na du lumon so no ben na kete wi of v wi one of v wi one of v o ma yen na widow so lu na rape of key na wana lu abi na boy wi nam na dio kenga so wa ki na nam na vi wa ma yenga kalu na shi na apkia yaki kana so sui kuma mnya baga kwena bli wa mnya wi en na lu man nu bi ko bena yana lote yaki finga ten so tamok diafana luki. So talking about the role of women in peace building, if you look around the world, you see that the population of women is far way more than the population of men. Women have more than half the population of the world. So when you look at a crisis situation, you get to discover that women are the ones that suffer most, even though they don't go to the battlefront most of the times. But the people who are killed at the battlefront are their husbands, their sons, their children, and all of that. When it comes now to the fact that naturally they were made weak, you discover that they are raped, they give birth to children without fathers, they they suffer the long-term effects of war. If you look at war, okay, maybe if a man is killed at the war front, that's the end of his life and that is it. But imagine a woman who is raped, is pregnant, and will have to live with that child. The trauma they will live with for the rest of their lives. So when you look at women, you cannot undermine the role of women in peace building because when there is a conflict, when there is a crisis, they are the ones that are mostly affected. That's why today we're going to be looking at the role of women in peace building. Now, what role can women play in peace building? The first role women can play is in peace building is first of all to prevent conflict. Sometimes when there is the scent of conflict, women will be the first people to smell it. Why? Because we are mothers, we are wives, we are friends, and all of that. Sometimes your friend will tell you something that if you were proactive, you tell them that no, this thing is going to cause a lot of chaos. So women have that role to be proactive in stopping conflict. They can prevent conflict by raising early signals, early signs that there is a problem, so that community and society can get into solving it. When there is information, women they say women gossip a lot. Gossip could be to the advantage of community. Imagine that your husband comes back home and tells you that we are planning to have we are planning a war against the next community, and you have a friend in that community and you caution. Maybe if it gets to the ears of the leaders, we they can decide to sit on a peaceful table and resolve the problem without going to battle. The second role that women play is mediation and conflict resolution.
So
Now, when we
before you go to the second one, we're seeing that there's a reaction. You just mentioned about women in gossip and the positive aspect of gossip.
yeah,
So emeka bife ramu koje esinke yumenge kilu mbi fendiote je gwin so ten ne lo ne
very
ki the chuo ne te dio te chia chuo lumen
aluminum.
ne lumen ne lu le lu ne ki lu ki le lu ne ki lumen o ne mare men so le ne su
Mm-hmm.
ge kong lo gwin na ge kong jo fe sa giam ten sa chia sa ne le ke ne wa ki ken ne fo wa lu ga wa cha kan du sa second point e ma ko ne ka ten ne is yu ge op kong ba jo so len lo ge lo op kong giam ten yesen boy sa kan fene what are the positive points relation to hearsay or gossip
Uh, okay,
in relation to
sometimes
peace building.
most of the times gossip is not good because most of the time the motive behind the gossip is always to tarnish someone's image, is always to criminalize someone, it's always negative. But now we are talking about to everything that there is a negative portion. Now I was on do na lu na ka lu du ni bama was a ben sa kana tan kama fayetiti kong ba jof, yes, kong ba jof abla sa swige sa maya blami ba bena kong kong of lewo lu wap jofen bega fo kong tan jam tan ka tum asa swiga kana ga lesa fe awe ya keep chu a fo tem ta tambe swiga le ka ga lu na fo we na chamtin kan chamtin kan chamtin o yo na la lu na chamtin sa jam tan ka tum fo lu kong of jung ya lu na chamtin sa nyoko ka tum fo lu kong a be wala kia a kong a be wa yan kong wam du na social media wa we lo ama tum kenga ma nyak no ga le ka gana na ka ba a gandi lu kong gi so nyoko ko tum bena wala ka lo yang se ma yo ko no ga le ka no lu ko no ga junga yang se nyunga du ma kong tenga man lo yo ko no ga le ka ba be no me sui no ga no kin le no fo ko gwi no ga so ka tum kina sui sa ba be no we ga la tof ga la fi la si ba ma kan no fe fo no lu kong of jung ma ka ji ba li ya fo lo te di fai kan ma ga be ko fe ko jung bena ma ka kong ki an aspect wa lu good the same as kap kin an aspect wa lun ne bama e kan ga forma sweet chairman no
Bele
lo ki
ne
kan no go gisa
bele ne kan ka te ne jofa no go wal ye kan ne wando chamtin se babi do chamtin kan ne se babi e ka e lo tong ga kong ka ja ka fu sun ga lo kong le li kan ne chamtin ne ki lu ne ka sui ne ki ka si sa kan ne se tome be lo ki lo te fe kan ne ka sui kenge se sui ne chu lemte ne ki ki pyo ne blimte ne lo kai wen lo le sui ge kana kin ka gang ba wa tem wa sui se mami ap cha tem ten se ba
ta ba
ne ba lu ge a lie ge lo ne lo we ja ki lo ne lo wo le ki be wo lo chia sa ne ten a ji wa ba lo te yu ya lo a mami
mami
kana me yana ge e ji e ki lu ne in lu se lu ma ma na fen beka le lu ne giam te le ye chia na fo li ma mi li le lo to ki li se zem ten di ne kai sen lo sui me se fo ge lu ko yong en se ki ge lo le ma yen na ba lo bu se ne ke ne le ke ne ti ma ke ge lu di ne ma mi lo te fe ke ne ke te ne me ke ge le yo te ne wo ki reaction kum ke ne ke te ne bes ne ke ne ke mbi lu ge cá sui phây đi lu ge ập kí lu rie lo ne lo te fik ta kan ne le ke e le boy seten es me ka bi ge no ble se lu lo ki ye ne ya se kan ke te ne ke tong ten ge community peace building.
okay ma ko si ma kan no kan bi lu go for up kia prevent for up kia tunsa san kan ni wonga ja gwi aso ma sa kina nam no for ki ne sa tunsa kan no ka kum tan lu ga dilal ni wonga tan gwi man kan ki ko ki ru wa tong tan ga mediation and conflict resolution. Also agree when there is a conflict, when a conflict is already full-fledged, women have a role. First of all, women have a soft voice to speak with. The speak in a sober way that it sounds melodious to the ears. Secondly, women have empathy. Before a woman stands to address a situation, they try as much to fit their legs in the shoe of the person that is facing that challenge. The next thing that
Okay,
women do is
Timon,
that they
Timon. Well, I see can ge ki sung nen with the soft voice. The lower
yes.
lower that's get law chuta ji soft voice salutana.
So voice maybe kiyasa sui kano ka chama chaman asa ya sui kano ka authority ma kwa ta ga tum wa so ga la ba go so ndu te fun tum a ge ya wana te fu so chairman na ge ya mana te fu so ge sa ton sa ba na fa indun dun fo man du ki environment ya na ga no to lu ji le ama cham ama sui ko no tan di ka ma cham chaman bosun sui ga bena bega ka walu lu man ki tawa ki authority fo wi ki ke environmental ma fa iso ke ngi authority mo ga ma ka sui ga bena ki sa sui ga ma ka kuata ga ma ka bifu ga se fo o kan du ga ya ka big bifu di ka cham chaman o ma yana wo jim ki shi su yo to bega wo jim yana ga fo ya ki agia won say so gisa so tan bena luma luna am dunan tum tan ka teva ken ka teva with a lot of authority first of
Okay.
all from the tone of voice
Mhm.
before the manner of conveying the message.
Okay, ne singa se ndu e suige musa ka kinga join lune klo yin kap kok tum fen ka li me yen network wona fonge ko ka wi di ne sin ne practica ka ne no le lege ka sui menge lo bu men ja lo to sung ka vi ama for example ama sui ka ne ka leke wa sung ka vi ege kinen pifge ne ki lule ne se jof kan dia se lon die kan dia no sombia because sung ki sui ge ine ke se lo se si se es ba ta tu ne lu men lu kenge up sui kenge ne sui ge no authority. Okay, ama for example yasin bus shi ke tem
Okay.
ese mo ko lu gi lu men di
Why no? Okay. I'm a see ka vi. Why no? Mo kwa ta ga yasun se busu la ga bechi. Yes, ja job ga yasun shi ka temi le mi so man ko a.
Yes, sungen tin ke ke kalo ma bala na ka bam ke na nan so ye shi ke ko a ku ye yo tin ine lo te yo na vi lo sungen le ne me su ge me ko so bi fe gui ne bla mo le fo ka ko tong te men lam ba la ke la ma empathy di se lo so su yo ge ali ye ke le nge wen to me wan te na wun e lo e sin ja ba sa shi ka imagine ge as in the fella saka walk ka mok na lumen assuming ge sin lo be ken kan na ken le ma mak ken le cha yendu bele wa ma kan du ken mbi ne no wetene.
Okay, kana ga le ka kilo ne say sa ya ki ga conflict ya me. Luga na sa facilitate a dialogue. Can example yo so phone ali ga for example ko luga ga wani ga na ba ga sung ni wi jilu ya fo big win ga la jimat yo man dai mong na ba ka ga na di man sa sanda fo so lo lu di kwena bli wa na ta na nga na ke ta tumo ki ndu ndu fia ka ki o ma yenga kan fia ki ke man kan fia so na na fia la gwi fia so lu ma na a lu ma na bakson na ke ta man bukta ga kan na fo ja ga ta na nga so that is a way to facilitate a dialogue. So one of the roles that women play in peace building is that to facilitate dialogue. It's always very easy for women to talk, and it's easy for women to build bridges to communicate. Sometimes a situation that feels very difficult for people to communicate, women meet at various places, the market, the streams, and all of that. And when they meet, there is a way that they can share very difficult topics while doing very trivial things. So a kilo baksundu obligwa na lo kono tan baga kiki bligwa na kono na tan na dio na chimza lo na tension lu no ko ya kono no before sa tu ki mo sa ndu ki so we sa ba ki ko tu nam no si dio ona ndu dio mo before di bile am a face kan fiera le ka ma ke so ya bukta rang i wong yai na shin rang a conflict ya na shin ana lo luga ya lo to diom sa suni ko na tinya lo no ki na bokta mana rang tan baga maga fiera fiera woli jena me su ko na ji le ji sa mana fila men da sung na sa babe na metan e lu na babe na me lu o we politics of su ko ma chen se mana akam ma se sung na lazy kam sa shi ya sa yi dia bena ma ko bo sung na di su wenga ai ma ba sa lu metan so na kwena li wa su ge so jom si so ko na kin na yen ga ji ya no da na me na so sung na tan luna jafo gama diom si sa ka nakin baga ka kong ya ka no dana me sa kishi ka nakin ya lu ka season so women build bridges, women
Bele
also facilitate dialogue.
Bele. Okay, we're taking reactions from the comment section. The man, okay, was that example? The man gave an order and the woman gave a plea. The another reaction coming from Babeta is rather unfortunate that bringing women to raise their voices and take peace initiatives in our community here is challenging. I used to think education was the solution, but I see deep rooted social constructs and stereotypes. Even some educated women bring lots of animosity on women trying to break these barriers. What can you say about this?
I think it takes only education, lots of education, and lots of education. Sometimes nice things are not just welcome with open hands. Yeah, to say a woman's fall is always a woman, but lately you hear women say women supporting women. It's really a challenging something that, though, with all the points I've raised about women communicating, about women building bridges, when it comes to woman something, it really gets difficult. But I think it's a problem of education. If you look into our society very well, you get to understand that women are barely just getting into educating themselves on some basic things. It was first of all a man's world before the Beijing women in 1995. So it's barely it's not up to 30 years that women are harnessing that strength to become women. So we still need time, we still need lots and lots of education. It is not magic that you just get up someday and just educate the women and they start behaving themselves. We have to go through society. First of all, has a lot of negativity on women. Sometimes it's the men, sometimes it's the women, sometimes it's the children. So I think education will help, and it's not a one-time hit and run. It's a consistent something. We have to keep on educating women. We have to build cultures that will make women to understand that we can be out there and doing a lot, because actually society still limits women. There are cultural practices that still limit women. For example, coming from Oku, where I'm coming from, it's a patriarchy society. And for a woman, yes, they will say no, a woman can do anything they want to do. But when you're already out there doing what you want to do, you discover that you face a lot of barriers. So it's education and education and education. And on this particular point, I'm still opening to learn. I'm trying to learn more about gender, because it is very important to me as a woman. It's very important to the new generation of women that is coming. Yeah, there is a lot that is still untold. There is a lot in policy that is still to be met for women to really harness what they are made of and become who they really want to become. Because most of the times it's rather women are a shadow of themselves. Women are not the real people they were meant to be because of society, first of all. Yeah, so it's very important that we
Okay,
keep educating women.
yes, before we continue, we have Musa is here and he tried to log in now. He's in, but you just hit your microphone. Your microphone is on mute. Then he's gone again. We
We
missed him
lost him
again.
again. We
Yes,
lost him
so
again.
thank you for that comment. You reacted to that comment, and the question as it came, because it's showing that a lot of stereotype between amongst women and women fighting against women on that barrier. Some women want to hit that barrier off, but unfortunately, it's again coming within the women. So that is a whole topic for another day. What
Yeah.
This is a whole topic for another day. Or if Mr. Ta is on the line, if he wants to join, we're more than welcome towards the end of the program to join. Maybe talk more on what he sees, because say, what can you say about this? Maybe he's having some insights and some resources on looking at it. But that is a
Sure.
big topic that we will not derail from today's topic, all through because we are on the role of women in community peace building. And we've handled maybe about three more points, and let's keep going. And as we go, the reactions are coming. We're going to interact like that because we're making this to be lively. So it's not like Chari just talking by herself, but your comments on the comment section will help her flow, will help her tell you
Very
more
important.
rather than just listening and maybe nodding your head like, okay, vi is no, vi is no. Well, end can be.
Bello, chairman. Okay, the next point why I say women help in building social cohesion. Like this topic, we've already talked more about it when we talk about women. They create spaces for dialogue, they collaborate. It's easy for women to collaborate even with your enemy. Sometimes they say if you want to harm a man, get their woman, and it will be easy. So women are very open to collaboration. First of all, because the empathy I talked about before. Now they promote understanding, tolerance, and unity. If you see how much women are respectful in society, yes, not every woman is respectful, but the general rule is that women are respectful. When you look at the respect that women accord to everyone in society, it's easy for them to bring people together. We already saw this point. Women have a way of tolerating. When you just come to the house, the woman is the mother of the house, you have the children, you have their father, you have relatives, and all of that, and all of them living in one space. And who is there 24 on 24 is a woman to care for the family, to nurture the family, and to do all of that. So wala kidan duwa yanga akiye kasu chinta na ge. Pachimsa yana wena shanda na ina sakman le sakta. Puna luka na vi wana chintan bega a vi kasu su vasa. Pa wen ne kana gale fe na no wa ne kana gale no wasa los lu masa yang su nom no. Beka wasa sui kana ga tenwel. Amat na tiptawo won. Kaga ma tiptawo mo kom no. Then a kisa lo na bosom vessel for we yo ka vi tele na ble wo jabi am na tele la mesa ab jikenga tu won mandu a ki ko say no say but in the most instances the gonna ba lo to keep tower then I see a keep tower so no a ki lu ya bomton of vina esa v a kuisa can kuisen so they have the tendency to nurture a kilo nurture everything ko kui so chimalum nyang kwena bli wam nyang wa anon man yesen ya kilo nyang through conflict resolution o yenga lukia bomten nyamaten lukia na suisa lumenga ai wondu bilo sui kana ka beka na kan du lama chop sui ga ai ma witan walon du waka go shiken so wako tu pana ma baby non dana we so women nurture women be social cohesion and they be harmonious communities. That's one of the roles that women play. Chairman, if you have any reaction on this point, we can talk about it.
Bela kawa gwin kan na katene lune osuige ose foko fase so vi abjele amne ko kui kokene kokan
Okay.
dine kadinge vi lo lu ya lune fo iten o lo gwi yen lu kake eten o gwi sui kan lam bala ab kela su sui su la mu kuo gese ne ke jof wo fo gala so won am bense so fo
Maluko ban.
aviene sa ban a fo ble so vi a bense so ge a bense
Wana.
se wan wona me lu dio me manda ne lu ken ka nyang lu ken ka chu vi giam tene ne blewe ne ka su ga lu me ne ba lo te ke se sung ne wa sui ge ne so vi ab ja sui gen sui ab ne ji lo wa ni lo fe ne je na ka fu nu chin sok na ka fu nu chin fo ke se bi ga bai de ka sui
Le
ke na vi
kokaja la
le
me distance
pe je
na.
le be di sta ni le me se ken sok na ne nam ba yu ka ke ne te ndu na ne lu ke ne ka jung ke a jilen ne esene endu bi ne we react fenge women hardly pick up weapons, but men are more prone to be violent. Now the reaction to we ka we ka bifenge age when ya kanitin. The luluya ge
No,
gibna
kini no barlu.
Mhm.
ba lu question ya bi lo rhetorical question ma yang ga wong sa lo lu ga no fai na weapons na fai na tao ya lo na fai na lu na kama ke ta mo su lu go ki ba sa ki tao fo na du no non
Mhm.
so lu mo ya sa li weapons so fai so no
Ne
lo
luk
lu
chi
ki ma try ji ya yang so so season aga da be na chin ka ya no non ba ga chin ga no a tao se wai
ne yo ge tao vi luk chu ne tao le lo lu ji chu ne ne ko su ke we le ne ge lo vi sung nun su ke le ge wo lo ken song na ne ti ba sa ki ne ge ding ge weapon wen lu lu chu be
a
ne ji
trio one
weapon ne fin ten ne lu for a good purpose e
construction
ji ge wi ne ten ge lo ne su ne be me ne a verse wa ka wo ka lu me ge ndu room le suige yeshik a vi ma gui suige abai wa kwat ge la kali ka fa kin le yendu so wa ja lo ta ka bi te ge wa se ndu so ni se tam lo we so mo wa ka se jo ma yu te kele a room mo suige ai kana kin le na job ge we yu te lo ta kinen fa ne ma sui le be ka wa sui ki le gen du ye lu ge ko chu se lo ta kele ge kana kin se ndu ji ya ne reaction ge se gui ge uh, amajang our society tends negative label on women as being bossy and disrespectful ejiwe statement we ne gui intenje anya then ge eji society ki creating no disrespectful ne so bossy ne ko gui se ke ne ka ma
yes
jangale ka
masa
ba
ka
lu
ka
mm.
ka wa ka si mun na ka ja fa ken na ge sa na le ka chi ka le ka sa sung nan kum am na wa tu na ki ga na ya fa nan ba ga ki ji ka we vi reason that bossiness ko lu ka le ka wala ya fan ga vi na lo ki top lo ki ta o ja bo ya yu nun sa won na lu ka society kwatan be nan ba si ya na ga lu ka ga lun ba ga wa shi ka vi ji jum ya respect won sa si lamba la ga respect lu si puka ya respect wan fana ya respect we say na chumulu fe yin wa ba yan fe yin cheat fe yin ni bama na sa ma fa nga na la ga we na ta sa nya fa nya ga la sa ju fa nya ga la ma ten sa dina ji so won wa yan fa nya ga la ta sa ju wa ka ka fa ja din ji so we lu kan ka wa lien wi vi o wa yan na vi ja ne so won ka jung na wa ese ga be ga ka lu vi be ga lu no na kuiso ga mo mo so sai to mo so ke ga ka ku vive l'effort disai ga ma ga basan be ga be ji ya wa ga ne na aten na ya ka se ne so musa ki no ge so lu human beings na ji ya ne so we kwa ta ga se ga ne so we ji aka fai ko junga wa ya na ga ba fai ko jung wa ma ga ne so na ande a fe ka ka luwa a wa fe se
Obele ka wasuine mien ne yele lu comment section ka no le lu men fo okay bele ye kine ne okay Irene bele ka foni chakte ne sorin foi chakte rungong foi chakte ne babe Kenneth Suige I love to join the issue when the topic comes up web gloss ni fedi wa me nhạc tới cùng animosity ne khi mà khi cái quạt cái lo cái này giảm từng cái tụi mình cả bên lớp khi suy cái ai cái nó kinh lên này và sẽ quạt cái và lu vi mà và lu mình sẽ cái sẽ bị cái nó kinh na cái chỉ có quy cái sẽ đi ra cái này lo thế tom sẽ phân đi
yan to
ne you have been talking about the role of women in community peace building and you've been citing quite a good number of points and areas where women can truly come in and become instruments of development, instruments of peace building. And we keep seeing Musa trying to join, but for some reason, yes, he's here. Can you hear me? Yeah, hit your microphone. Your microphone is not on. His microphone is not on. You can
check
hear me,
and
but
put on your microphone
microphone. Oh, it's gone again.
Oh, he left again.
Yes. So yes, that's a man that is coming to react live on this interesting topic about the role of women,
The role of women in peace building.
peace building. Okay, give us more. We are here to listen and to improve our styles, our techniques.
Okay. The next thing is that women try to address the root cause of conflict or crisis. When there is a crisis, it doesn't just get up in the morning and happen. Before a crisis happens, there is something that has triggered something that has triggered something before we get to that spiking point that they fire lights. In Oku, they will say, for Wajayan for league, no back sometimes society will tend to try to solve the problem just on the surface. We are trying to solve what spike like reactions, but we are not looking deeply into what is the history of the story that is now causing a conflict. Women sometimes, because of their nurturing attitude, because of their listening ears, they take their time and they try to understand from the root causes to know what happened, what is the history of these people, where are they coming from before they are here today. So when this happen, women try to evaluate if gender is respected, because some crises, some conflicts are a result of the fact that gender is not respected. They try to assess the levels of education. Sometimes we have conflicts in community because people are not very much educated. I think like woman to woman conflict most of the time is lack of knowledge, lack of education. um Women try to ascertain, is there enough healthcare? Is there enough economic activities for people? There is this English adage that a hungry man is an angry man. Makwata ga kwena li wa jing ya fan we fana na ga ka li no ga tu lo nyo ka ken ka vas o za lo yen no we no no wana yen ken ga ka fo ka lu jing wana yen ga sa le si shanda ya lu no no gwi na jing. So a kilo ya kinenga kana kin lule na kana lo ji rai san du ji rai kwena li wa wo lun a gwi ken ga esan sisa o sa lo sisa kana wa yen ka video lo to bifte o liebli lo to fikta ka kana kin na keten sa ga salu fen ga kan lu wa liebli yo to di wa ma kele ka fo wa kete sa bom to na lu gang sa ga sa na so kui salu ko tu fa ka wala gwi go je to va kang lu je to ken flower to va ka tan te ma fa ja te so wa gwi go cha ka va ka ko gwe ke na ga fa ka fa ka tan ko te mi alu ken fo ap chi bwa lo chi ani tam chi na ka ma fa ka kui so kwena li wa vi lien conflict ap chu ke ga ngatan ya tim timon ana mong ma kan ka fai aja ya luga agwi yo so ken ka tu tan bago yo so ken ka tu aka na tan bef ken bef na ka ja jof jof.
Bele se ka sungen as nun yu ne le suige lawo ka chok tum na ten si la ye bam bala ke ne yu ke link ketene.
Okay, like I was saying, one of the we've heard about women's role as in conflict prevention. We've heard about women's role in preventing conflicts, which is they easily identify conflicts. They are proactive to conflict and they give early warnings to conflict. Now, when they cannot prevent the conflict, when the conflict is already there, they have a role to mediate the conflict. For example, women build bridges, women facilitate dialogue, they create grounds where people can dialogue, women have empathy. So when they are looking into an issue, they try to get deep into the issue, soak themselves in the issue, and feel the way the parties could be feeling. The next role is building social cohesion. Women are good at creating spaces for dialogue. First of all, because they say people meet at various places, women meet at various places. And there is a way for women to break informal conversations more than men. So through these informal conversations, they start to soften a, a conflict without even knowing they are already building a bridge for the conflict. Women also have empathy. Now, the next point is women build social cohesion. Now, when women cooperate together, they solve problems faster. They understand each other's emotions and they
Yes, ke
communicate
kafi
better.
of charity fongegne esne mot chi te ka wi di ne se swim ne biote no come ki come myang ne walo ki te bi to
About
later.
social cohesion, yeah, there is a way that women make people together.
Yes, me yenge okay line when come ne se ne sen lu esne chi te ka li di ne ke se fik te se sen ne sen yu jung kuma no lo ki ne gyam te ne se bo me myang gele mem ne ka lo gwi esen ka gi te wen se ka na fe ne ka sui ka ne nu chi ne une social cohesion ne no blewe me me se lu chi te ka gwi la ke na kan fo the reaction so gwi ge exactly root cause analysis is vital to solving burning issues ne e lo le ye chia se ge ki ke se lo se yu te ke ne ka ga ne man chok wo kok te for vi kok te for su ge en lo te fikte a ma yu ge ne kin se ka ke ga ya di e ji le ye ge ne wo lo te ke te ja lu ge wo me wo fang a li ke ne ke ne ye su ge no ke ne ka lu se ni ge ka lu se ni ge ye ba lo te yu ge ne ten se ne ke ga ya di a vi yu te se fen yu beme ka yu fen se ge se kele ka alie yendu so umbi fen lu na ka le ke for swing wing ge bu me ba so kibli wetene se yu te ge ni yu fen se ge se chinten ye lu lo lu me ma lo lie ge na ka le ke me yin ndu so umbi ne lu be ya akwen e ka wu ka ria se beme ge lu ke na ka junge o men du umbi ga o ko so yes.
Okay. Like I was saying, that women are good at building social cohesion. Normally, there is a way that women tolerate, there is a way that women unite, and there is a way that women create harmony in communities. First of all, because they are the ones that go out daily on a daily basis to common gatherings. They are like the commoners of the society, so they meet at common places. That way, it's very easy to create common conversations on professional conversations that could actually lead them to something great. They collaborate. There is a way women collaborate. There is a way that women will just sit and start talking about their children. There is a way women will start talking about their husbands. There is a way women will start talking about the economic crisis that men might not be able to talk about that way. So when they collaborate in some of those things, it is easy for them to start solving a conflict even before it is time to actually engage in the due process of the conflict. I was talking about addressing root causes. I think you already gave some analysis about root cause analysis. If you solve a problem, most of the times, the way communities solve their problems is like, let's just end this thing here or here, but they don't try to go deep to understand what transpired, what is the history of the conflict that we are having. But there is a way that women look deep into history of conflicts before they get to solving them. The next point that we're going to be looking at is rebuilding after conflict. Now, when conflict comes, Chairman, we are having rains. I don't know if the noise is
No, we
disturbing
can
you.
hear you. Keep
Okay,
talking.
great.
Yes.
Okay. So when there is a conflict, after a conflict comes reconstruction of society. Who are the ones that are left to rebuild? The women. Sometimes a conflict might sweep like half the percentage of men in the community, and it is the women that will start rebuilding the community. So when it comes to reconstruction and all of that, women are there. The first thing that women do is that they reconstruct the community psychologically. If you have to heal from trauma, you need a soft spoken voice of a woman to talk to you, to tell you that yes, this thing is gone, it's history. You have to sit down, you have to reason out, and you have to start building. You will not die because there is a conflict. There is life after a conflict, and we have to get living. So women help victims of crisis or conflict to heal from the traumas of those conflicts. They help them, they give psychosocial support and sometimes economic support, because it's easy for a woman to start a business with 1,000 and grow, but it's difficult for a man to start a business with a very little amount of money. You know, the men see the bigger picture, the women see from the smallest picture, and try to see how to construct. It's easy for a woman to tell the husband that even though we were living in a mansion before the crisis, they have burned our mansion, but we can start living from a hut, and we work together and we rebuild the family. But sometimes when a man sees like, I was already at the top of my life and now I'm going to start from zero. When you hear about suicide, men are the most people that commit suicide in society because it's difficult for them to restart. But for a woman, it's very easy for a woman to restart life and still build. So women help in reconstruction. Kamu ko sino lamu ko mas you can go kiyo ka sa bagla. Jilia ki ka sa bagla. First of all, sa bagli shanda na ran chia ka sungnon. Kawe tum wai won tef o lum won tef. The lane and kai wonga me man yes lai ba me yes and lusa so continue sa chi ye chi ko jum so yes and keta si lai ya kui po we lu na no na bagla man ka be ki bagla lai fa yes ki kwa I wonga gwi me sa fuatan asa ne ji sa blum na ya enga fo yi jaba shi ga ka keta job yi ku e wa wandu mama society wa yanga lu mo na lo yang sa a shing sa 我养殖形式我认为第一么多么价格只有养殖库，啥路开那路门，别个 life 让没问，别那啥那个 vida 是干实事些问就去那些，yen ka fo ke si lai ya kui, maka ka viba sa lumo wa kung nga fa ka be sa bi aki go huno like better thing, but even ka ki kung better thing, yana aki se ko bili go fo bom to si lai, aka na kui ya fang, baga gonna bom to fwa si dio a villa ke so bom to one of light ka nga no ku ya lu bawe, so that spirit of building lu gonna mom na vi for yin bella.
Bene, se kalinkate ne se ne yotem ne vile ne job ke ne lo sum ne vilu of fief ne kongo se join as a gite gie when sa na fe abli ne lu ne kill reaction from Derek's Bivuge Selobege where let me just read it. Why are women considered vulnerable? Meanwhile, they are always the cause of domestic violence in home. A bivile
Okay,
ne kungani ga
I
sirna kasine sarachi
I
kachine
think that we already plan to talk about domestic violence on
is
another topic. Domestic violence on its own, it's a form of conflict that
okay.
has its own direction that we
Yeah.
cannot mix it to this one. So if
Bene.
we want to talk about that one, it's going to take us a whole day.
Yeah.
Let's keep that for next time. Then we talk about family conflicts.
Yeah. So Derek, for thumbs up girl or yoge aba my ni BVE lune lo chi ga fu I BVE ten lune lo ka chi ga fu ka eseniga lo ta ki ne ga ne ten ndu no lo ka chi fo ne yenge ki ga ne le ga gi te ten o kok te gui yesung ne yu ne nan de wo ki ne lenen yen ke ne le ke o yu ne le ke char chi sui wa ka jofen gi te gi wona ten ne ab yog le ke lo to kele ge I kele ji ren du ne ten sui men ge ki ke fa kin lege lo we pong in lege ke fa kin ne use ne aji jung ab chuo aji jung ne ne nei in lo ma liep chuo ten lege abom ke be so liep chuo a nei wona kui liep chuo nei ishana kui neji myang nunten e maka bivge kalun le kaisen sui community abling ble lu walu shi ge elo asumne ne kanum novin afo
Kalau shi kama ko suiman ga education luna ya sanki non formal and formal education. Nam na ka vina kam nyak mi wa ba so lu ya sana school curriculum. Luna look at non formal education wa for abia chia so na gala yo. Na ya san lo ki diom ka yina o ku focus le na mi yanga kina shi diom ka gala chinta na social media shi diom. Na gala lo chinta du na blik si dio kana ka lu kan na ka tum kana ka lu kana antek we wa kin idea sam na vin abia lo sa sui me yanga me le personally mo sa ndu na rai mo mo so traji peace building lu kana na mo mainstream e ga mo chi mo ne na ya mo ko ki ji ai sam bi tan na society lu sa mainstream na ka peace building na rai ra society economy kana lu inde la kana lu nda fi lu li kle se ka lo te ya sung nen ko mo nyang di na tan ba ngwala fi lu ngwala na nyak aka tu am nyang so ka lu shi ga le ya lo chin ta na ya sung nen kum gam na vi che ma me ya na li so chota so me ama ma li so the last point why son key line vi
Yeah.
the last point why son key line vi lu advocacy for policy for policy influence lu chia true advocacy wasa chance nam na sa kwena lu wa so sui ka na si dio na nande lo sui ka na tan o wona gi na nande sui ama tong to go lu advocacy ka kina kam ne le lu advocacy on peace building na gala si dio lo so non kum peace building a stereotypes so le sa lu no society for example ko ai san lon a ki ba sa lot ki item sa fa isa sung na lega ya san ga sung na du kan ka sung na ga bi fa ga se lo ki ji be ya stereotype ka ga ya nga vi ba sa fa isa sung na be ga fa ya ga vi ba fa na du bi ka ba ga fa ya lu bossy a kana no ta ma fa isa ga item so lu true advocacy kasina then inclusion in decision making aya lo ne ka no ka li ko yen ga ki chi mo ko gu fundu no wuni bam ko ya gu to gwi na kia vi sa tan aki ma da wa wa rule then the influence of gender kwena li wa lo na ka tum ya kinin ken i gang i mo kan i gang i kia o iluman pana wa yanga po ka tum na ndu fe na kana ka le ka ma gisa a policy advocacy fen lu ga ya lo li decision so lu mo pi na ko lo si sam na even i shanda so lu ka fo na ko ga lam na ka tum asisa e ga lum via fe ne kana ga le be ka vi kana wa ka vi ka ba lo to ne ro vienda kanonda kamami so like I was saying advocacy for policy influence it's the final point that we have in the role of women for peace building women can do advocacy for women in inclusion in policy making. Women can do advocacy for gender inclusion and gender responsive efforts. For example, in a community, if all decisions are being taken by men, that community is bound to be in chaos. But when women are included, when they chip their little voices, their calm and quiet voices, they'll go a long way to help in policy change. Also, women are wise to policy makers, decision makers, and all of that. So maybe if they are not given the open rule, there is also a way they can play the invisible role. There is a way you can influence your husband, your son, in decision making that will favor women. So that's one of the roles that women play in peace building. For example, if there was a conflict and there is a decision that your husband is planning to propose and you find out that that decision is not the right decision, there is a way you can communicate for a peaceful resolution. So it's very important that women should harness the power that God gave them, which is their voice. I'll still repeat, the power of a woman, it's in their voice. Let's make our voices heard. Let's communicate. Let's talk. We can only solve it by talking. The men can use the power, the force, the weapons, and all of that. But we can only use our voices for peace to reign. Chairman, miyana ka bli chon dun masung nan ki chon of li mayanga bli sa mayor.
Yeah, Bele.
Yana mayana ga la luno bong ta point na sa jim sa son fon chu so ka sa point of lamba la fe of lamo po.
Yes. Thank you so much. And it's here that we come to conclude this session this week. Join us next week for another exciting and wonderful session. Thank you, Charity, for coming today. Happy Easter.